Hello and welcome to Neilson Boats. Today we're on the Staffordshire and Worcester canal and I'm going to tidy up some electrics in a Tradster and Narrowboat. So I thought I'd take you along and show you what I'm going to do. So the customer has had a new engine put in. Yeah, not how I would have done it. The welding is a bit questionable, to say the least. But anyway, that's not my problem. So that's he's had a new engine put in by another boatyard, and basically there's no bilge pump. The leisure alternator's not charging properly. His batteries are knackered. So we've got some new uncut 110s here, and so we're going to install those. At the moment he's got a very kind of temporary Sterling, is it a pure sine wave? Yeah, pure sine wave inverter installed. So he wants something bigger, so we're going to put a new inverter in as well. I imagine we'll probably plonk that, don't know, over here or something. And you've got your charger here. Yeah, it's been DIY bodged in, so I'll have to get changed. And then you've got all these cables here on this Sterling alternator to battery charger, which is not supported in any way. Yeah, and there's just cables hanging off everywhere. The bilge pump isn't working, so we've got him a new bilge pump. And yeah, actually it's metal there, isn't it? So we won't be putting the inverter there. We'll be putting the inverter over here somewhere, I'd imagine. First thing we're going to do is disconnect this mess of batteries, basically. Sometimes when you've got negatives that shouldn't be anywhere down there, I don't know where the hell they come from. Sometimes it's easier if you're let's put that camera up a little bit. I keep on leaning down. Sometimes it's easier if you're doing like a rejig of an engine bay, just to rip it all out and start again, rather than just working around old wiring. At least then you know where you are. So I'll crack on and do that. Quick thing I've just noticed as well, if you're ever installing a lead acid battery, make sure you take the bloody transportation bungs out. As it's obviously been fitted by a DIYer or the owner of the boat. Because if it's been fitted by a boatyard, they should know better. Oh, don't you just love it when people put batteries in stupid positions? Who the hell designed this boat? Right, so the battery's out. They were right back there, absolute buggers to get out, they were. That's a mess of wiring we need to sort out. There's the new batteries. The customer bought those, and he's bought them with the terminals ran the other way, so we'll have to have new links as well on the list. There's the old batteries down there. Oh, this is meant to be a one-day job. I can see it being a 3-day job. Right, crack on. Also forgot to mention these terminals here, they don't have like a 8mm stud. They're not, that you won't pass your boat safety if you've got those on your boat. So that one I'll have to, only found the one, so that'll have to be replaced for a traditional one like this one. So yeah, so if you've got a battery clamp which looks like that and your boat safety guy sees it, you'll get failed. You want one like that, or even better, get rid of them and get dual terminal batteries where you get actually studs coming out the batteries which you can just screw down onto, screw your lug straight down onto, so your battery's basically got this part on it. Right, lots to do, crack on. Right, quick little update. I've installed this 3 kilowatt used pure sine wave inverter, low frequency pure sine wave inverter. I've decided to put it here because there's no cladding on there, and you can imagine it must be a warm boat in a cold night, this one. And yeah, so what I'm going to do here, I've put this here. There's your 240 volt charger. I'm going to try and glue that together. I'm not very happy about that. And there's your alternator to battery charge down there. I'm going to put some slotted panel trunking down here along, and then that'll allow it to all be dressed into the batteries. And then this boat isn't fitted with a leisure battery alternator, so then it gives us some channel to bring the cables up for the leisure alternator, battery isolator, and then we'll have the battery isolator for the inverter as well, which will be a 500 amp isolator. So yeah, that's how we're getting on so far. It's a bit of a struggle. These things here are about 25 kilos, so that was emotional trying to put that up on my own. A great big massive transformer in there. This is one I ripped out of a boat a couple of years back, and the transistor had blown in there, so I took it down, took it over to Dodger, my boat, and stripped it down and tested the transistors in there, and found it had a blown transistor. So we replaced the transistors and soldered some new ones in, and then repaired it, and then sold it on to this customer. So this would have been a very expensive inverter in its day, and I've let him have it for 150 quid just because he's a mate. So he's help him out. He's after a bigger inverter, and he's got the biggest he can get now. So yeah, so let's get the trunking in and get the isolators mounted, and I'll see you in a minute when that's all in. There's your slotted trunking, see, so you can just snap out your sections, etc., where you want to put cables through. So good stuff, really helps the job come along. Whew, that was hard graft. Well, just starting to slowly get there now. It's going to be a 2-3 day of this job, I reckon. We got the A to B mounted back up, and the charger, and temporarily rigged the inverter up to a 30 amp supply, just so I can charge my batteries. So we've got that running off 2 of the new batteries at the moment. Yeah, it's a lot of work. This boat was in quite a mess. So yeah, so I'm going to get the links done on the batteries now, and go from there. I've got like I said, the customer is actually a friend, so any old kit I've got, I've let him have. So I had some old 90mm links and stuff like that, so I've given him them. So he'll owe me a beer for those. I'm trying to help him out as much as I can. Yeah, so get the links on, I reckon, and then we got the engine. Is the engine, whoever put the engine in, they wired the 100 amp alternator in 10mm cable, which is tri-rated 10mm, 70 amps, something like that at the most, and that's the best case scenario. So yeah, so we've changed that now. I didn't have any 50s, or well 35, so I put some 50 in. So we just got to take the feed from the alternator, the battery charger, down onto the leisure batteries, and then we'll yeah, and what else we got to do? So we've got to do that, and then basically wire the isolators for the inverter and the leisure batteries, and then we'll start thinking about the rest of the mess on this boat. Great being a marine electrician. I love it. So, right, okay, better crack on and see what we can do. Hello again. It's been a couple hours since I last did the update of this little install. Since then, we've got the a bit closer there. The A to B's all wired up, and this charger, I'm really not happy about this flipping cracked case. I'll glue that up, it'll be alright. And yeah, so all the batteries are wired up. We've had the inverter running as well. If I switch him on, he's on at the moment. There we go. What we got? He's weighing on. He's all fine. We press run, and then we have the AC output, and I've actually connected that up to a temporary socket for now, so that I could charge my power tool batteries, because the drills went dead. Yeah, I think it's about 4:30 now, so I'm starting to lose the light. It's March at the moment, so get started at about 5, 6 o'clock-ish. So, and I've got to put all the boards back on the boat, because obviously I work off my boat. I haven't got a van anymore, and there's old Narrowboat Dodger there sitting behind my mobile home stroke van, and yeah, so we'll do that. So where am I going? Hello. So I think we'll call it quits at that for tonight, and then I'll see you guys in the morning. And the plan is tomorrow to start sorting out the 12 volt on the boat and the output of the inverter, because it's an inverter, combi inverter charger, low frequency, which is great for power tools and stuff like that. It's got a big transformer in there. Yeah, so we'll do that tomorrow, and then we'll have to wire the socket for the secondary charger, the dual output charger, the one with the broken plastic on it. We'll have to wire the feed to that, so always make sure that that doesn't go through the inverter, otherwise you're basically putting the inverter on, which is draining the batteries, to run the charger to charge the batteries, and you always lose on a circuit like that. So you just basically dissolving power into thin air and not getting anything out of it. So yeah, we'll concentrate on that tomorrow. All the batteries are all connected. I'm not 100% happy with the batteries. They're not really in proper battery boxes or anything, but what can you do? I can't start welding in boxes and all that. Well, I could do if I was being paid to do that, but I'm not. I'm just here to sort the electrics out. But it does, like I said earlier, it wants some kind of battery boxes put in, not really just plonked down on the swim. Yeah, so here's the isolators we've got. That's the inverter, which we'll leave off, and this is going to be the leisure. And the customer already has a starter isolated down there, which I would have probably rewired and put there, to be honest with you. Probably been better, but I'm only doing the bare minimum, what I've been told to do. I don't want to stop spending his money, because all I'll get is he'll turn around and say, well, I didn't ask you to do that. So although he wouldn't, because he's a good guy. Right, so anyway, I'm going to stop locking up, and I shall see you tomorrow morning. Hello. Right, this is what's happened. Customer asked for a load more work to be done. I actually only had 2.5 days to complete this job, and I've got another one booked in straight after. So unfortunately, vlogging does slow you down quite a bit. so I had to go into turbo speed and get the job done as quick as I could, so I wasn't able to record any of it. But anyway, the job is finished now. I've got to come back because the customer's also asked for solar installation, so yeah, we'll have to do that. That'll be in about a week, 2 weeks time, I'd imagine. I'll come back for that. Right, so this is the situation. This is what we've done. So as you can see down here, all the batteries are done. Obviously, if this was a brand new installation, it would have been a bit neater than that, but it's reasonably tidy, and you can if you look back to the beginning of the video what it was like, it's a hell of a lot better. All the everything's fused now, and I've got to come back. When I come back for the solar, I've got to get a new cartridge for my labeler, so label up what these fuses are as well. So that's another job. The alternators, the battery charger's all wired up. That's pumping out loads of power. The main charger is wired. The used inverter that I sold the customer is also all wired up now, so he's in there. Excuse me, I got a horrible cold at the moment. So there you go, there's your AC output, which is then wired down and around. This is this inverter up to the fuse box here. This inverter is a combi, so it's a charger as well. It's like up to 100 amp charger. So basically, you've got the power comes in from the inlet there, comes down through a galvanic isolator, down through the cables, 2.5 cable into the inverter, and then the inverter then backfeeds up into the distribution box. So the inverter is actually a UPS as well, an uninterrupted power supply. So if you want to use it like that, you can have it. So if you've got, say if you're in a marina and they keep getting power cuts, you can have it so it automatically switches over, so you don't lose your fridges, etc. So yeah, so we've tidied everything up basically. The all the wiring that was hanging, all that horrible wiring that was in there. I haven't really done anything with this. I could have moved it up to the top, but the thing is, where do you stop? You'll end up rewiring the boat. So, and the customer hasn't asked for that. So when he gets a great big bill, he'd be like, "Oh, I didn't ask you to do that." So yeah, so I don't know what's going on with these battery restraints. I'm going to mention it to him to go into the boatyard, because he's actually in a marina where there's a really good boatyard, Ashwood Marina, and get him to weld some kind of restraints on these batteries. Left and that there. And yeah, the isolators I've just written on for now. I'm going to get some engraved labels made up for those. I did try to do them with a labeler, but I don't know what's on this here. It's obviously some kind of silicone based varnish or something, because nothing will stick to it. Yeah, so I put the label on. I actually tried to scrape the varnish off to get the labels to stick, but I still couldn't get them to stick. This socket here is direct off the mains for the charger, obviously through an RCD, which basically runs the charger. So you don't want the inverter putting out an output to run a charger, because you'll just lose loads of power. So yeah, sorry about missing some vlogs, missing the part of the installation. Oh, by the way, I've also installed a new bilge pump. So that's down there, if you can see it. I'm not sure if you can see it down there. New whale bilge pump. Customer bought that. I told him to buy one with a float switch in it, but he was told by the chandler that it was a float switch in it, but it wasn't. So we'll have to install a float switch at some point as well. So yeah, so it is freezing today, and it's actually started snowing, so I really got to go. I've got to get moved. I've got to go to the next job. So yeah, so thanks for watching the vlog. Hopefully in the next one I'll have a little bit more time and I can take you through what I'm doing, like I started the vlog with. Yeah, so that's a bit about it now. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one, which will probably be plonking in the solar panels. So take care.